Good afternoon. This is Karl Schärer. He's born in 1929 in Zurich and he is nearly 88 years old. I'm Otto Mehls. I'm born in 1939. That means I'm 10 years younger. Karl and we worked together for exactly 25 years in the University Children's Hospital in Heidelberg. We are sitting here in the wonderful garden of Karl under a tree with nuts, and this is a place where Karl had invited guests from everywhere of the world. Karl, today we will have a conversation on the beginning of pediatric nephrology, and Agnes Trautmann will take the record for us. And I think you are one of the first hand in pediatric nephrology, and there is no other one who can better tell us how it started. For the introduction, I would like to give a short overview on early steps of your professional career, if you agree. From your curriculum vitae, I can see that you graduated in 1954, that means shortly after the World War, and you got the degree of medical doctors a few years later. And then, as I noticed, you was not willing to stay in Switzerland, you wanted to go out in the world.
Oh, I think Switzerland is a wonderful country, and I actually wanted to go outside.
I think you, with the wish to go out in the world to make friendships with other people, you were very successful, and your first step was to go to New York, and you stayed for nearly 2 years in the New York University Research Center in the Department of Medicine in the Goldwater Memorial Hospital. Mm-hmm. Karl Schärer, with whom I share a very personal friendship, gave me the authorization to summarize our long philosophical interview, which I will do during the following minutes. I will first start with his curriculum vitae. Karl got his training for specialization in pediatrics and in endocrinology, mainly at the University Children's Hospital of Zurich, under Andrea Fanconi and Andreas Prada. He was trained in internal medicine in New York in 1955 and 56. At that time, he had already contact to Henry Barnett at the new-built Albert Einstein Hospital at the Bronx. His interest for metabolism and nephrology was further stimulated by getting a grant for Paris in 1960, where he was a boursier of the Unité de recherche sur les maladies du métabolisme chez l'enfant at the Hôpital Necker Enfants Malades, under the lead of grand patron Professor Pierre Royer. You got the grant for the Hôpital Necker in Paris. And what did you learn there?
I learned to collect urine. And Dr. Royer was always a man who liked the life. We had a lot of discussion on politics, on new movies, and so we had every Tuesday we had a meal together, people from the lab, people from clinical medicine, and most of them were coming from other specialties.
He was further stimulated by a special training course on the development of healthy children, 1962 in London, and by a research stay at the Department of Chemical Pathology at the Hospital for Sick Children in London in 1963, where he shared his room with Martin Barrett for a while, who is well known for many of you. In 1966 and 67, he was a research fellow at the Department of Pediatrics at the Michael Reese Hospital, Chicago, where he did experimental work on kidney metabolism under the lead of Professor Jack Metcalf. This experimental work was a fundament for his PhD title, which he obtained in 1969. At the same year, Professor Horst Bickel asked Karl to build up a renal unit at the University Children's Hospital in Heidelberg. Karl accepted and started at the same year. It is understandable that Karl has a feeling that the final choice to become a pediatric nephrology was fortune or by chance. How did it happen that you became a pediatric nephrologist?
Yeah, one didn't know what's actually a pediatric nephrologist at that time, because general nephrology almost didn't exist. So it was a part of metabolism or internal medicine.
In the 60s, metabolism and kidney disorders were not separated, and specialization in pediatric just started. Horst Bickel was a famous metabolist who invented the PKU diet. At the same time, he identified himself as nephrologist. What was not only by chance is the fact that Horst Bickel and Karl Schärer were both trained by Guido Fanconi. You will immediately remember the Bickel-Fanconi syndrome. Fanconi certainly stimulated Horst Bickel to hire Karl Schärer. What stimulated most identification and specialization in nephrology and in specific pediatric nephrology was the upcoming possibility to dialyze and transplant patients with terminal renal failure. Under Karl, the first child in Heidelberg, a 10-year-old girl with terminal nephrotic syndrome, was transplanted in 1970, only a year after his arrival in Heidelberg. It was a tremendous work to build up a pediatric renal unit out of nothing. This was not possible without the help of urologists who had started a transplant program and performed hemodialysis prior to planned transplantation. After the State Department decided to fund a renal unit for the Children's Hospital in Heidelberg, a pediatric center for maintenance dialysis could be started. Giulio Gilli, with his former experience from the Institute Gaslini in Genoa, earns the merit for starting the dialysis program in Heidelberg. But the impetus certainly originated from Karl. Let me now answer the question or topic regarding the main merits of Karl. This will be a personal view, of course. First, with his translation of the first textbook of pediatric nephrology from French into German, he opened the door for pediatric nephrology in Germany, as Ernst Leumann mentioned in his recent interview. Second, as Horst Bickel, also Karl always kept contact to the international scientific world and trained young people to look not only to Heidelberg or Germany, but to look and to learn from experts in foreign countries. In fact, he stimulated co-workers to international meetings in Heidelberg. As a mean, important international meetings in pediatric nephrology were organized every second year during Karl's active time. Third, one of his major merits is obviously psychosocial care. He was interested in it from the beginning, and he organized it professionally to support the end-stage renal program. He also organized many psychosocial meetings, and he organized also many dialysis and transplant camps. And in my mind, this is a merit which even counts in our day. Fourth, Karl stimulated always not only co-workers but also young people from other centers for clinical work and research. He believed in research and he stimulated by providing people with research material, which was in the beginning collections of clinical case records and patients' lists. He did not allow to deal superficially and even to lie. Famous are his lists from the EDTA registry, for which he worked for many years. He chose the right people and convinced them to stay in academic medicine, and he was successful. Many later leaders of German pediatric nephrology units started their careers in Heidelberg. For instance, Wolfgang Rascher in Erlangen, Dietrich Michalk in Cologne, Uwe Querfeld in Berlin, Dirk Müller-Wiefel in Hamburg, now Jun O in Hamburg, also originating from Heidelberg, Dieter Hafner in Hanover, Bernd Klare in Munich, Günter Klaus in Marburg, and Martin Konrads in Münster. Fifth, Karl was devoted to the ESBN. He attended all annual meetings starting from the second meeting 1968 in Helsinki until the end of his active career. He organized the fourth annual meeting in Heidelberg in 1970 together with Horst Bickel. There were about 50 active participants at that time. The ladies' program was important part of the meeting. One might have different thoughts in our days about ladies' program. However, fact is that this part of the meetings created friendship. Karl organized a second annual meeting in Heidelberg in 1993 together with me. After 23 years, the number of active participants had increased from 50 to more than 500 participants. In Heidelberg, the social program was still an important part of the meeting, which you might see from the presented photos. We will return to the garden of Karl Schärer. Unfortunately, Karl will not be able to attend the 50th anniversary meeting in Glasgow because of health problems. However, when we were sitting there, we opened a bottle of champagne and wanted to drink to a big success of the 50th anniversary meeting of the ESBN. Thank you.